So, hello everyone, and welcome to the Student Assembly Informatics. Let's get this party started. So, who are we? I'm Andreas. I'm in the Faculty Council Informatics together with Simon, who's also here. Then there's Kiwi, who's the speaker of the Faculty Student Council, and our deputy speaker, Philip. Right. As you probably already know, you can submit live feedback and questions via sli.do/fvv. We also have some surveys prepared, so just open that on your phone and you can interact with us during the presentation. Okay, so what's actually going to happen today? So we're going to start off with a small overview about the Faculty Student Council, what we do, how we are structured. Then we'll continue with some current events, mainly the transition from the Faculty of Informatics to the School of Computation, Information and Technology, and of course, Corona, digital e-learning platforms, proctored exams, and what's going to come in the next few months. Then, as a third part, we're going to look at the survey results. You probably have received an email with a survey last week. We've got over 200 responses, so thank you very much. We're actually going to hand over that feedback to our study dean, who's going to meet with the Vice President for Study and Teaching today, so that will actually be escalated to the highest level of TUM decision making. And if you haven't filled out the survey yet, you can still do this later, and we're going to look at every single response if you have any feedback. And when the presentation is done, we're going to have a Q&A session. And live feedback via sli.do, and we're gonna answer all of your questions as best as we can. Okay, so let's start with part one.
Quick thing. I want to interrupt right here. If you have issues with Panopto audio, you can always switch to the YouTube stream. It has better sound quality. It's our backup stream. And for Andy, my video seems to be frozen. It's not frozen on my side, so if you can briefly look into that.
I guess I can fix that.
I'm Zion, by the way. Hello.
Okay, just give me 1 minute.
No problem.
And we'll have it up and running again. Oh, that was not intended. What just happened?
Don't worry.
I killed everyone else's video. The link to the live stream should be in Moodle, since someone asked that question right now. You can just log into Moodle, click on the Student Assembly course, and there are 2 different live streams linked over there. And also the slides you're seeing right now, they also have just been uploaded to Moodle, so you can download them and look at them by yourself as well. Okay, it should be working again. So, about the Faculty Student Council. So basically, we have to differentiate between the service branch of the Faculty Student Council and the University Politics branch. For the service branch, we work together with
One moment. I think the audio is still a problem.
The audio is still a problem?
Yes, people. On both platforms, the audio seems to be broken.
Okay, give me a minute. Is it broke for everyone talking, or?
No, it's only you.
Is it just broken for me?
Only for you.
Okay, I probably got the wrong microphone again. Ich habe ich hab's neu ge ich hab's, Okay. Sorry about the broken audio. I hope it's better now. I'm just going to wait a few seconds to get some feedback on the audio. And if it's better now, we're going to continue. Still horrible audio. That's not good. Of course, that has to happen once we go live because it didn't happen during all the testing sessions yesterday and the day before. Das, ach so, warte, aber du kannst jetzt nicht einfach reinstreamen. Das geht nicht, dann ist es ein anderer Stream. Ich schau mal kurz, ob Vincent noch streamt. Okay, we will try to fix this and we'll be back in about 5 minutes. I will just Is the audio better?
I'm Test, 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 Test. Also ich rede in meinem.
Okay, so apparently that audio is better. Is that correct? Then I guess let's just continue with this audio stream.
So we're going to continue with this audio stream now. I hope it's better. I hope it's acceptable. Right. Let's get back into the presentation. Sorry about those technical issues. We tested it a lot throughout these last days, but it's always the live session that goes wrong. So let's get this started. Okay. As I said, we're first going to look at the structure of the student council real quick. So basically, we have to differentiate between the service branch and the university politics branch. In the service branch, we work together with physics and mathematics, while the university politics is formally separate. So in the service branch, we're organized in several divisions that fulfill each fulfill a certain task or provide a certain service. So there's the computer division that has all of the that sets up all of the infrastructure, our mail servers that hosts our website, and several other tools for different events. Then the event division hosts a wide variety of events. Of course, they don't have a lot to do right now since due to Corona, a lot of those events had to be cancelled. But usually they provide the board game evening on Monday evenings, the big LAN party, and so on. Then the finance division, that, as the name says, they, yeah. As the name says, kann man mich am Stream nicht hören oder intern nicht hören? Okay, sorry, we just had to make sure that everything's working right. Right, the finance division works, basically does everything related to money. So if there are big events or if we need to buy something new for the student council, that's everything managed by the finance division. They make sure that it works out in the long term. Then the Garching division, basically the Garching division purpose is to communicate with the city of Garching, with the mayor of Garching, and to collect information about Garching, about current events on the campus, and distribute it. Right. Then there's the Impulsiv division. That's basically our little student council newspaper that's published, that's written and published twice a semester. The information division manages all of our social media accounts and our website. It collects information from within the student council and publishes it in an organized way. Then the printing division basically prints everything that can be printed. They provide the Impulsiv, they provide the lecture scripts that we sell, but they also have 2 3D printers. So once Corona is over, you can actually upload 3D models and order random objects, whatever you want. The script division's purpose is to provide a constant flow of lecture scripts, to also get the permission from the lecturers that we may print their scripts, and set up the script sale and so on. Then the set division, that stands for Studieneinführungstage. It basically organizes the orientation week at the beginning of each semester. Of course, it also couldn't take place this semester due to Corona, but the guide for the first semesters has been published on the website, so you can look at that if you want. And then there's the survey division. The survey division's purpose is to provide the surveys concerning the individual lectures and to evaluate basically the quality of the lectures. So that's actually something that makes us unique in comparison to other faculties, since we are one of the few faculties where the student council actually does this evaluation and not another external organization. So we actually have the advantage that we can react pretty immediately once issues arise. Okay, so and then there are several appointees. The appointees for equality basically are your contact person if there's anything going on, if there's some kind of discrimination going on for whatever reason. The appointees for bulletins manage requests from external companies who provide job opportunities or want other information to reach our students. The appointees for accessibility basically do a lot of stuff for students with disabilities. The appointees for beverages basically manage our beverage and drink supply. The appointees for facility look after our rooms, and the appointees for Unity, they organize our big party during the summer semester, the Unity, But unfortunately, this year it also had to be postponed due to Corona. So, and as you might have noticed, I skipped one division earlier, the University Politics division. The people in the University Politics division are not necessarily those that are in the different committees, but they make sure that there's a certain information flow between those committees and also across faculty borders. So on that note, let's continue to the university politics structure of our university. So as you might know, each summer semester there's a election where you can elect your representatives. Actually, the election was this semester was supposed to take place at the end of June, but due to the Corona crisis, it has been postponed for a few weeks. And currently, we're working on getting remote election set up for everyone, because right now you can request a letter with which you can vote, but you need to actively fill out a form, and we are trying to achieve that everyone gets this automatically, since otherwise we would need to lock down basically the whole faculty building to maintain social distancing standards while still enabling this election. So basically, what are you voting for in this election? So any student who has enough supporters can submit a list for this election up until a certain deadline, and the people who get the most votes in the election are then sent to the faculty council. The faculty council is basically the highest committee of the faculty. Then there's of course the elected faculty student council that decides varies depending on how many students study the subject at hand. Since we are quite a big faculty, we have actually for the next term 35 elected representatives. And those representatives then elect the speaker of the faculty student council as well, and they also delegate people to the different committees, such as the study quality committee, which deals with different issues regarding the exam regulations and everything that's got to do with quality of teaching and so on. Then there's the study subsidy committee, which decides how study subsidies, so basically the money that the state gives us to improve our quality of teaching, how that's used. And then there's the examination board. On the examination board, we actually don't have a right to vote, but we can be two people can be present and can give advice there. The reason we can't vote is because that's actually the board that decides everything from regarding exams and so on. So ich glaube, es sollte jetzt lauter sein. Okay. And then there's the student assembly. The student assembly is what we're doing right now. The student assembly actually is the assembly of all students, and it can instruct the faculty student council to do certain things, or also make binding decisions. So that's the faculty level. Then there's the university level. At the university level, there is the Council of Student Representatives, which is also delegated by the different elected faculty student councils. And the elected faculties, the Council of Student Representatives then elects the executive student council. Right, and apart from the executive student council, there's also the Senate, which is basically the pendant to the faculty council at TUM level. There are 2 students representatives in the Senate, currently SIME is actually in the Senate, and then there's the Board of Trustees, which the Senate is a part of, and that's the Board of Trustees. There are certain decisions that only the Board of Trustees can make, and also the election of the new president is a part of that. So, but enough about our internal structures. Let's go on to current events. So, as you might have heard, the faculty for informatics will be merged into the School for Computation, Information and Technology. Basically, every faculty will be merged into one school together with other faculties. In our case, our school will be made up of informatics, mathematics, and electrical and information engineering. However, the mathematics department actually gets its own sub-department, but informatics and electrical engineering are in fact divided up and mixed up. So there's the CS sub-department, the computer science sub-department, where certain chairs of the informatics faculty go. Then there's a mixed department, the department for computer engineering, where other chairs of the informatics department, as well as some electrical engineering chairs go. And then there's the electrical engineering department with the rest of the electrical engineering chairs. This actually also means that in the long term, we probably won't be able to map our study programs to those sub-departments, and also some organizational details about the study programs will be decided and managed by the TUM Center for Study and Teaching, which is an organization at TUM level. That's been newly formed. So for the time frame, there are actually two variants that are possible. But variant 2 is the more likely one. So in variant 1, we would have a complete election and setup of all new positions at the start of October 2021, and start in October 2021. With version 2, we would formally start in October 2021. But temporarily leave the deans and other people in place for 1 year, so that they manage that as an interim.
You are currently the only person in this conference.
Of 3 people, and the final transition to the school would be made in October 2022. So let's go on to the current state of the planning about schools. There are currently 27 working groups in the department for informatics, electrical engineering, and mathematics. They will be working until early summer, but certain delays are possible due to the corona crisis, since there are other priorities right now. As of now, we are involved in 2 of those, but as I said, there are certain delays due to the corona crisis, so that might get more. And then after those working groups have finished and have created a concept, there are 4 roundtables with representatives from the presidential office and the central management from September on, and then in spring of 2021, the final decision to form the school is supposed to be made. So what are the relevant changes for our study programs? Actually, there are several things about to happen. One thing are the university-wide obligatory and transdisciplinary project weeks. They are supposed to last for about 90 to 150 hours per semester. And the initial idea was to set them up as a synchronous thing. So basically everyone has this project week at the same time. But there are still some unresolved issues. For example, how we would manage that from an organizational perspective. Like where do we get all the people to actually support those? Solltet ihr können. Right, then there are the voluntary transdisciplinary plugin modules that are also they are also transdisciplinary, and but they are basically for students who are interested, and yeah. Right, so let's go on to the next topic, which is of course the Corona semester. So let's just take a look at what happened until now. So since the 12th of March 2020, we actually have a Corona crisis team in the Informatics faculty, which basically manages all intermediate responses to the Corona crisis. All the current information from this team and from the faculty in general that's relevant for you as students is provided under the link that's posted up on the slide. Also, since March 2020, we are in close contact with lecturers, especially for the big bachelor lectures. And have worked out various concepts. You can also look at the current state of the planning and everything that happened under this wiki entry that's also linked on this this slide. Which you probably already heard is that all exams are postponed up until further notice. So all exams that were supposed to happen in the second phase of the in the second exam phase of the last semesters did not take place. So what is important, if you wanted to write an exam and couldn't write this exam due to the Corona crisis, but now do not meet your ECTS hurdle, the faculty you basically automatically get an extension for this, but you actually need to request this extension from the examination board until the 14th of May. So if that's an issue for you and you haven't done it yet, please do. Also, it has been decided that there will be an automatic extension of the study control system for the summer term of 2020. So basically all of the ECTS hurdles and your semester counter are permanently moved by one semester, and it's not a suspension, so you don't just wait one semester and then have to do twice the amount of ECTS, but it's actually moved by one semester into the future. So then let's talk about the various e-learning tools. Generally, the biggest e-learning tools that are provided at TUM are for one Zoom. TUM actually purchased a Zoom license for TUM-wide use, but there are, as you probably know, there are a lot of data protection issues with Zoom. There has been a lot of debate over the last few weeks, and one of our big issues right now is that we actually we know that TUM has a special contract with Zoom due to those data protection issues, but we have not seen this contract, and as of yet, the TUM didn't allow us to take a look at this contract. So so we're working on getting this, but as long as we haven't seen the contract, we can't really say if that's these measures are sufficient. Then we, especially in the faculty for informatics and mathematics, we try to set up, and we actually set up with the help of the Rechnerbetriebsgruppe a Big Blue Button instance. You probably have already used this. This is an open source tool which also provides video conferences and special features, especially for teaching, which is also what we're actually working on. In the long term, we are working on replacing solutions such as Zoom by Big Blue Button, etc., so that we can continue to have those digital teaching methods also after the crisis, because there's a lot of potential in those, and it would be really sad if we just lost all of those after the crisis is over, and it would be a one-time thing. But it should be in the long term, it must be a certain amount of data protection conformity. And one of the issues that also arose in the survey that we sent you, that we often heard there, was that there are too many tools. So we really tried to work together with the lecturers before the semester and tried to get them to coordinate. Some of them actually did, but there's still a long way to go. So there's a huge list of tools, and actually at that point we would set a poll, a little survey via Slido Live. What's your opinion? So basically we listed all the platforms that we got via the survey, and just click over there to say what is your preferred platform for the different purposes. And right, oh yeah, we can already see the result. I will just switch to Slido. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so apparently Big Blue Button seems to be the by far most popular tool for digital teaching in general. Then we will, by the way, also we will collect all of these results and all of your questions after the event is over, and also pass them on to and use this feedback to continue our work in the following semester. Live events in small groups. 56% approve of Big Blue Button, 27% or 26% of Zoom. The other ones seem to be rather cool. And the assistant by the RBG seems to be the most popular one for big live streams. But actually, we're gonna go on now. We're gonna have a detailed look at those results later, and talk about proctored exams. So basically, the bad news is none of us really know how exams are gonna work out at the end of the summer semester. But currently, the TUM is working on changing the APSO, the General Examination and Study Regulations, to allow for digital exams under special circumstances. There's actually a meeting planned tomorrow morning for the Student Council TUM level, on which we will talk about our position to this topic and what are the major issues that still need to be fixed before the decision is supposed to be made. So the two major issues that we currently see are for once the fairness in comparison to personal exams. So is it an unfair advantage to write exams in person or digitally, you know, and also to what extent the surveillance is acceptable, and if it is acceptable on private devices, or if the hardware should be provided by the university. So those are all questions we would like to hear your opinion about. And actually we have prepared another survey for that via Slido. So I will give you a minute or so to answer this, and then yeah, let's switch to the results. Should we prioritize creating an option to write exams, even if this means that the usual data protection standards cannot be guaranteed? That's quite interesting. It seems that most of you prioritize. Yeah, it's quite an equal share. So the opinion seems to be quite split if data protection or the availability of exams is more important. Okay. What is also quite interesting is that most of you seem to think that digital exams provide an unfair advantage over personal exams. So basically, that digital exams are easier to cheat on, I guess. Which is probably true, but yeah, you can only do so much to ensure that that's different. Okay. So es ist nicht gut, wenn Dinge schief gehen. Ich bin gerade. Okay, so let's go on with the next topic, which are actually the survey results. So we've got over 200 responses so far. We took a look at all of the responses that we got until yesterday. And so the most pressing issues that most of you wrote into the Okay, so the most pressing issues were by far digital exams. So the question, when will the retake exams take place? How will the exams of the next semester take place? So we can't give you a final answer to that. As I already said, TUM is currently working on proctored exams to be made available. And a decision should be made within the next few weeks. So that's so the feedback regarding this is really valuable that you provided us with, and we will keep you updated once we have once a final decision has been made when and how exams are possible. But as of now, unfortunately, no one knows if exams can take place in person or if the corona situation will continue as it has until now. Right. Then the second most asked thing was that we should try to reduce the number of tools. So at the bottom of this slide, you can see a list of tools. Those were all the tools that were listed in the survey. So basically, sometimes people wrote 5 tools into as a response for one single course. And we're actually working on that. We're talking to lecturers and try to communicate, try to get them to communicate with each other, and try to reduce the number of tools. But it's all a bit chaotic right now. So feel free to just ask your lecturers, actively ask your lecturers to communicate with each other, and yeah. What is also an interesting information, and which we highly support, is that our department will actually now endorse Big Blue Button on TUM level in order to get rid of Zoom in the long term due to the privacy issues and due to our really good experiences we had with Big Blue Button. So as long as we can provide the infrastructure, which should be possible in the long term, I don't see a reason why we couldn't switch to a self-hosted system like this. Right, and just please actively ask your lecturers to switch or to communicate with other lecturers, because this needs to be repeated and repeated over and over again, because we cannot force any lecturer to use a certain tool. That's sadly that's just reality, and we can only make suggestions. Right. Then what we have observed is that there are some lecturers provide live streams and live content with real-time interaction. Others use pre-recorded lectures or really old recordings. So we also have a survey prepared for this on Slido. So basically we want to ask you in lectures with greater than 100 students, so basically the ones where you can't use Big Blue Button or those small and highly interactive tools, would you prefer a live stream and be able to ask questions in the chat, or would you like to have asynchronous communication and a pre-recorded stream, or would you like to have a streamed recording and basically synchronous chat messages, but no reaction on the stream itself? And also, what we also would like to see is what most of your lecturers actually use at the moment, just to get a more complete overview. Okay, so it seems that 50% actually prefer the live stream, and the other 50% are split between recorded, different variants of recorded. Cool, so thank you for the feedback on that front, and let's just move on to the next issue that we had in the survey, which is actually a lot of you complained that there are frustratingly unmotivated lecturers that upload really old recordings and don't really put a lot of work into the lectures, or refuse to adapt their format to the new requirements of digital teaching. So also there's been a case where a lecturer to this day has not written a single email or uploaded anything to his Moodle course, and of course some technical issues. So if you encounter any of those issues, especially issues where lecturers just don't do stuff they are really supposed to do, please contact us. We can talk to them. We can try to fix the issues, but we need to know about them, and we just can't personally listen to every single lecture in the informatics department. That's just impossible. Then one thing that you also ask in the survey is which book suggestions you have, since the library is currently purchasing ebook licenses, whatever. So we've got over 50 different suggestions for books, so thank you for that. They have all been passed on to the study dean and to the library, and it will be escalated to TUM level, and literally for all mandatory courses at least should be available via ebooks. And also currently there's still the issue that some ebook licenses have can only be used by up to a certain amount of people at the same time. So it's also they also currently work on fixing that for really popular books, that an unlimited amount of people can use those popular titles. Right, then the lecture notes. We got several requests for an option to order printed lecture notes online. So there are some issues with that. We can of course not use the building as usual, but have certain restrictions. Also, we don't have an online shop set up yet, and also we heard from other student councils who actually do this, that they have the issue that DHL and other carriers don't accept large batch orders and large batches of packets because they're just too many packages right now. So it might take a few weeks to set this up, but we would like to have some feedback on that, if you actually want this, or if that's just like a few people that are not really representative. So just go ahead to Slido and look at the results soon. Okay, it looks like that about 65 to 70% don't wouldn't buy printed notes anyway, and of those, about 10% would use them to study for the exams, so that delay shouldn't really matter. And 5, 6, 8 weeks, yeah, about 20% of you would actually use that service, I guess. So that will definitely be a thing we'll have some thoughts about. So no promises, but we'll do our best. Okay, then next thing, a few positive things. Like we didn't only get negative feedback, but many of you said that the tools that are being used are actually working really good and have a good feature set. It's just too many tools. Also, on that note, the Mensa Garching will be open from today on. But you can only get food to go, so you can't actually stay there and eat, but you can go there and get to go food. We also got the feedback that tutorials are working quite well, and as I already mentioned, our department has actually spent a lot of money to buy servers for dedicated Big Blue Button instances. So we have the huge advantage over other faculties currently, that we can actually have a self-hosted system as an alternative, and whereas other departments are forced to use services such as Zoom if they want interactive events. Also, within the next weeks, a lot of tutors should be equipped with iPads. So to make the correction of homework easier, and also to enable lecturers to give different kinds of homework that you usually couldn't give in digital form that easily otherwise. yeah, and I mean, that there is a lot of work to be done, but we do expect that not all of the digital teaching will just disappear after Corona. So at least there's one positive thing that we can look forward to. Right, and about the survey, I think I said more than 200 answers earlier. We actually currently have more than 330 answers, which is amazing. We spent like until 2 a.m. yesterday to finish reading through them and to get the information for you today. We'll also forward it to our study dean. It's been over 16,500 words so far. So, but please continue to keep the feedback coming. We really need this, and yeah, we'll do our best to ensure a good start into the digital semester. Yeah, we did expect a bit more problem than we actually encountered, but you can still fill out the survey in the next few days. So that being said, let's continue with the Q&A, and a lot of you have already submitted questions. So I guess I will just hand over to one of my colleagues for the first question, since I need to take a look at them first before I can actually respond to one. I think I need to unmute myself in the internal chat so that they can hear that. And I would just hand over to Philip, Syme, or Kiwi for now, so that they can start responding into live. Also read a few of those questions. Are you there? Are you there? Kiwi? Syme? Philip? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hello? Yes. Hello? Hello, 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 hello. Nice. Okay, the stream can hear me. But Andy seems to not be able to hear me. I can go over a few questions, so the stream is not dead. I'm just gonna keep talking. Okay. Not keep talking. Ah, bad audio again. That's a feels bad, man, I think. That's not my fault, people. All right, I'm just gonna keep talking, and I'm gonna mute myself in our internal communications. Quitting there. Okay. All right. Oh, maybe I should not talk that loud, so. Okay. Are there any ideas how the exams will look like this year? I'm just gonna start with that question because it has the most upvotes. Short answer, no. Long answer, somewhat. There are multiple possibilities, and the preferred possibility is always we want written exams in presence format like we used to, but that only works under the condition that it's safe to do that. And we as student representatives, we don't want to put any student's health at risk. And even if there's a slight chance, we'd rather have other options and delay it as much as possible until it's safe to do so again, especially at the informatics department, where we have somewhat 6,500 students, fitting them on campus, having 1,000 people exams would require a lot of resources. That would basically kill all lecture halls of TUM only for informatics exams if you want to have 3 meters in between each student. So these regulations would be quite hard to keep in place. So then there's the option of online exams, proctored exams, electronic exams, and Andy already mentioned that in the presentation. That's a bigger thing. Now, one moment. I'm not sure what's going on. I think there's something going on. Should I just go? Okay, I'm gonna keep going. All right. So next question. I think we can have that one answered. Can we be sure that even in the situation gets normal, the recordings online formats of school will be kept as it is now? So that's a really good question. I for myself really like digitization of teaching, and the student representatives were pushing digital formats even before this Corona crisis. And our hope is that some lecturers will adopt these formats even after Corona. And we don't know when after Corona is, because after Corona could be, I don't know, end of this year, could be next year. Maybe it's next semester already. We can only hope and pray that this quickly gets over. But yes, we want to keep these formats. So will the Galileo be ready by 2022? I've heard so, yes, but that's just rumors. It opened already, but then it did not, and then it did, and then it did not. So yeah, I think that's the answer. We get this answer a lot. We get this question a lot, and then we get this answer a lot. So I don't know. Gibt es schon Aussicht, wann es wieder Präsenzveranstaltungen auf dem Unigelände geben wird? So is there any way we know at what point there are presence teachings at the university campus? No, we don't. We have like guesses and more educated guesses, but those guesses are all bad. And maybe it's in this semester, maybe it's next semester, we don't know. Why are we becoming a school? I think Andy tried to answer that. I think you could talk about this for a long time. Maybe if it's really interesting, we can go on about this. But I think there are more pressing questions, like the next one. Very smooth transition. Wird das aktuelle Semester trotz verschiebener Lernfortschrittskontrolle auf die Regelstudienzeit zählen? So will this semester count towards the study duration, the regular study duration? Basically 6 semesters or 4 semesters for masters. As far as I know, this is still somewhat being discussed about, but it should not. So like BAföG and stuff, I think it's not final, but we are pushing that this should not happen. Oh. Gibt es neue Infos über das Gebäude, das auf dem Grundstück der alten Mensa gebaut werden soll? No new infos, I think. There's like a tower plant, a tower of excellence that we call it. Maybe we can show a picture at some point, but no, there's no updates on that. Werden MW 001 und 2001 schon ausgebaut? Das war doch, glaube ich, nötig wegen Brandschutz, und kommen dann genug Steckdosen? So the question is about the lecture halls in the mechanical engineering department and whether they are being upgraded at this point. And to my information, yes. And I think I've taken a brief glimpse on campus, and there are people and construction workers on these lecture halls working. And that's the thing. But I don't know. I think about the Steckdosen thing, I don't know. what's the English word for Steckdosen? It's not coming to my mind. Anyway, we tried pushing that and we gave it to them, and that's basically a surprise box when we walk into that. Power outlets is the word. Thank you.
When do the retake exams for the winter semester 1920 take place? So as we already said, that's not been decided yet, since we don't know how the exams will take place, but it will most probably happen after the summer semester is over.
All right, we can go back to the school question. So the school question is really important. So let's, as I said, it's, I think, a bigger thing to answer. So there's this thing called excellence strategy that every university can apply for. And not every university, they have to be part of excellence clusters. It's basically a government thing in Germany, the federal government. And they apply, and if their strategy, the paper they propose, that's a 60-page paper, if it passes, then they get funded. They get lots of euros. And in that paper, TUM mentions this transition about faculties going into schools for reasons of teaching, research, interdisciplinarity, and basically better overall science, better overall governing, better overall management in the schools. Yeah, that's what at least the anticipation is. We don't know what of those things will happen, whether those things will all come true. It's a big transition for us, at least, because also student representation structures will change a lot. We are talking with our faculty, we are talking with the CIT student representatives, soon to be CIT student representatives, that is mechanical engineering, not mechanical, mathematics and electrical engineering departments. We are in discussion with them. So CIT is good to go next year, probably. Maybe it gets late because of Corona.
Also, I'd like to add something to the excellence strategy. I mean, we don't really have a shared position on this in the student council right now, but I see a lot of big issues with this excellence strategy, since it does generate a lot of money for research, but basically none of this money goes into teaching. On the other hand, you have a lot of students who choose their university based on this excellence label, because they think, hey, it's an excellence university, it's a good university to go to. So the number of students significantly rises, while the teaching quality does not really increase, and that may be a big issue in the long term. And also it kind of favors like this two-class education system, which I'm really not a fan of. Yeah, but that's not directly school related.
I will try to sum up what Andy just said, because he is really quiet for some people, maybe. Okay, so he said that there are split opinions about this, and the main problem about this is that the money that is generated does not go into teaching at all. It goes into research, and obviously that's good for a university, but then these changes will affect teaching in some way or another, and we don't know whether that's good or bad. And I think Kiwi wants to keep talking now.
Apparently not. Will the next semester be available online as well? The honest answer is we don't know. I'm hearing myself twice, by the way. It really depends how the corona situation develops, and yeah,
this cannot be decided right now. We will probably get this information after the summer semester is over.
Now there's an echo.
Philip, is your mic turned on?
Echo and quiet.
So
I've got headphones on, so I guess I'm not the issue.
Well, I also got headphones on. I think we all do. But there's a lot of stuff not
Philip
going right.
Sorry.
Anyway, so lecturers should consider flipped classrooms and split big lecture videos into smaller videos that are only about one topic, basically more YouTube style. That is one way to go about things, definitely, and it's a method that I think is very interesting. And some lecturers actually do that, which is really cool. But there is a freedom of teaching, so we cannot really tell people how to do things. So yeah. Talk to your lecturers, and we talked to some of the lecturers, and some implemented this, but some decided not to do it, which again is the right to do as lecturers. When do the retake exams from the semester 1920 take place? This is an interesting question, and the answer is we don't fully know yet. They will probably take place after the regular exam phase of the summer semester 2020. So we're trying to or the faculty is trying to organize it in a way that you will not have a chunk of exams, that the exams of the summer semester and the winter semester don't fall into the same period of time. But your exam period will probably be longer than usual because you will probably have to retake some of the exams from last semester in that time. I have heard that some faculties will only accept 30 ECTS this semester due to Corona. Will this also be the case for computer science students? No, this is not the case. You are free to take whatever course you want to take for as long as the course is offered. You can take it, and you don't have a limit for credits that you can do this semester. Updates über aktuelle Informationen, auch über die Corona-Krise hinaus, wären per E-Mail sehr, sehr gut. So updates about the current situation, also not only Corona crisis, but just in general would be good. I full-heartedly agree. If you want to, be updated on what we're up to, what we're currently doing, then I would highly recommend you to check out our social media. We've been pretty active on there for the past year or so, and we try to share more content with you about what we're currently doing. We're also looking into writing or sending an email to you people like once or twice every semester or so. We're currently looking into that, but if you want to be regularly updated, then follow us on our social media. We have pretty much everything. We have Twitter. Twitter is a little bit more for the lols. Instagram is a little bit, every now and then we post surveys, for example, to, have quick opinions about what you think, or to, have your take on something quickly. And we also have Facebook. Facebook is basically just if big events are coming up or something like that, or bigger updates happen, then we post it in there. We also have a Telegram newsletter. I would highly recommend you to sign up to that, because that is actually where we post every important information about the student council, about the faculty, about everything that is basically TUM. So every really, really important stuff is on that newsletter. All the other channels, they have a different vibe to it, I'd say. So definitely check out that. I think it's best when there's a live stream plus a recording of the live stream available afterwards. I full-heartedly agree with you. I think most lecturers are doing it like that. We've been fighting for lecture recordings for basically the past, I don't know, decades. If you're talking about this live stream right now, then there will be a recording from this live stream will be available. if I write an online exam and my internet is unstable, I automatically fail. Doubt. So this should never be the case. If you get digital exams or if you get online exams, this should never be the case that if you're running into issues because of internet or something like that, this should never be the case that you automatically fail. Okay, that's fine. Okay. So there's nothing set in stone yet. We don't have all the information about how digital exams might look like, but this is definitely something we keep in mind, and we're doing our best that this is definitely not happening. Is there any indication for when the libraries will be open again? There are no, they will probably open up sooner or later. They're already working. We don't know when they open up. That is very important. But we are already working, or people are already working on certain, strategies on how to open up the libraries for people.
And
but yeah, we don't.
They are currently buying a lot of ebooks and setting up their digital infrastructure to compensate for this. Yeah.
If you go to TUM.library, you will receive the current information about what is going on with the libraries. And yeah, check out the OPAC. They have a bunch of different electronical books and stuff like that. Is there any time schedule for the exams? No, not yet. I'm sorry. Seeing as the semester is going to be digital, can we have more coursework that goes into the grade instead of one final exam? This is also something we wanted to have from a very early point on. There are some courses that implemented that. There are some courses who work with a lot more practical stuff over the semester because they can do it, but there are some courses who cannot do that. They don't really have the possibility to give you crazy projects, so they cannot really do practical courses. But yeah, sadly, yeah, please do so.
All right, I want to add something to that. So there's this system in place that keeps all your study programs in shape. So basically, it's somewhere written down in your so-called FPSO and the UPSO, where it's regulated what modules have exams and what modules are basically practical modules like PGDP. And then there's this bonus regulation. And the bonus regulation is something that we are trying to change, because usually the bonus regulation only allows for this 0.3 bonus, and the 0.3 bonus doesn't really account for the work you do in the semester in some courses. And some courses already changed that to like a 1.0 or 1.3 bonus that you can obtain during the semester. And that is what we are pushing right now. And that is what we've also tried to push before the semester started. So it's already in place for this semester. And I think we achieved that for some of the bigger courses. And yeah, that's basically the answer.
Yeah, exactly. So could you elaborate on the obligatory project weeks mentioned on slide 25? What exactly does obligatory mean? What will the projects look like? To everybody, maybe a quick reminder of what these project weeks are. This is one of the ideas that will probably come with the school, with the implementation of the schools. There is the idea to have an obligatory project week every semester, and that is obligatory for every school. So every student is supposed to participate in this project week. How these project weeks exactly are going to look like, we don't know yet. There's nothing set in stone yet. This is more like an idea that the TUM had. We are currently thinking about different models, how to implement that, if it's really supposed to be every semester, for example. But the basic idea behind it is that you have a project, you have one full week where you can fully focus on a certain project that you have. And, that way you get to do things. For example, if you try to have private projects during the semester, you always have lectures and stuff like that in parallel to it. So you never really get to focus on the project in itself. And the idea of the project weeks is that you don't have lectures in that week. You don't have any tutor groups or exercises in that week. You can fully focus on the project. How exactly all of this will look like, we simply don't know yet. There's nothing really we can tell you because there's, nothing's fixed yet. So why are we merging to a school? Just to create confusion, #excellent. I think Zyme already answered this pretty well. The basic idea is because it's part of the excellence strategy. The whole school merging process is supposed to, it's heavily inspired by international models. Some international universities already have this idea of schools. They don't have faculties, they have schools for certain departments. And that is basically one of the reasons to do it. These schools are supposed to support interdisciplinary projects and interdisciplinary work. So it's supposed to be a really good thing for us. We don't know how the whole thing will turn out yet. But yeah, that is the reason why we're merging to a school. Bitte nochmals auf die Studienfortschrittskontrolle eingehen. Hat man jetzt ein Semester mehr Zeit, die ECTS-Hürden zu erreichen? Talking about the ECTS or the credit hurdles. If you think about your credit hurdles right now, you need to have 30 credits after the third semester, 60 after the fourth, 90 after the fifth, and so on. So what this expansion of the credit hurdles means, you have one more semester to get your credits. So basically now, instead of needing to have 30 credits after the third semester, you need to have 30 credits after the fourth semester, and then 60 credits after the fifth semester, and so on and so forth. So basically you have one more semester time to get your credits.
If you study in the summer semester, of course.
Yeah, if you study in the summer semester. If you start studying in the winter semester, then this does not apply to you. You still need to have 30 credits after the third. But this does not apply to you people because you obviously already started studying. So the credit hurdles the expansion of the credit hurdles, they will all apply to you.
When will the winter term start? Basically 2 weeks after it was supposed to start. So everything has been moved by 2 weeks. That's the current information we have. What about a script drive-through in the TUM parking lot? Yeah, we already talked about the possibility to send out scripts via post. We're probably not going to be able to do a drive-through now during the corona situation, since TUM is still on lockdown, but we might set up an online shop and send scripts out to you. Now that corona happened, will there be a bigger focus on getting dispensers for hand sanitizer in the toilets? Well, there are no plans for this as of yet, but we can look into this. But I don't think it is really a good thing to do it right now. There's an echo again. Since no one's in the building anyway, and the hand sanitizer is needed elsewhere. Will the merge into a school be discussed? Do we have a say in that, or is it already a decision which can't be stopped? So basically, the decision that the schools will happen is final. We can't do anything about that. We can just try to shape the school in a way we want it to be. As I said, we are involved in some of the working groups, and yes, there will be further presentations as soon as we have further information, but it's still in the process of being worked out. And if you want to participate in this, and actively participate in this, you're free to join us at the Student Council, and there's a lot of work to be done. And we always need more people to help us work out concepts and improve the study quality.
what was it about the interdisciplinary projects? Can you give more information about it? Credits during the semester? I think we already answered, Kiwi already answered it for a second time, so I don't need know if we have to roll it out again. Just one thing to add about that is, there's an echo again. One thing to add about this is that we don't know where the credits are going to come from yet. So there is an idea that just every lecturer is going to lose 1 credit, and that it's still in the making. So again, we will give you information as soon as we have it, but it's still like this vague concept that is probably going to happen, but we don't know how yet. So, but the good thing about this is that now is the time that we can actually actively provide ideas how it should be realized. Even if we can't stop things, we can still shape them, you know. What is supposed to be in a Tower of Excellence? Oof, there were plans to put a TUM shop in this tower, some meeting rooms, actually a small cinema, but that's something that's gonna happen several years in the future, and not right now. So there's gonna be an update once that comes a bit closer. Wann kommt die U-Bahn im 5-Minuten-Takt? So when will the subway arrive in 5-minute intervals? So the issue with that is, there are actually 2 issues with that. First, Garching needs to pay for this 5-minute interval since it's not Munich anymore. And also there are not enough trains, in fact. Yeah, so it will probably take a few more years, unfortunately. Even though they announced it when I started to study for the next year, so that's an ever ongoing thing. Will the organizational changes affect the existing students or the new students who yet to get admitted? So if you mean with the organizational changes the extension, that will not affect new students. This will only affect students who study in the current semester. If you mean like digital teaching, of course, things will not go back to the way they were. So I don't expect digital teaching to be abolished completely after Corona is over. And honestly, as long as we have a functioning setup with and take a look at the data protection issues, I think that's not a thing I'd want, like abolishing digital teaching. There are a lot of opportunities there.
Ich glaube, ich glaube, es ist gut. Do it.
You want
to
continue,
Kiwi? I'm just gonna.
Okay.
I'm not Kiwi. I'm Zyme. Hello. So next question: If the exams are not proctored, what should I do? If the flights remain closed, I'm in home country. So there's no way that the TUM will punish you for that. Don't worry about it. So if you can't come to Germany, there's basically no negative results for you that should happen. It's out of your control. Yeah, you will probably need to study for longer, but it won't affect your studies in that regard. So what is the usual data protection standards in the case of digital exams in Zoom? So you can read that up online. I think if you want to Google Datenschutz, General Data Protection Act, DSGVO, everything that, and a bit more, because those are student data and the exams are like basically important. So outsourcing the exams to like a private company, not that easy. You can read it up. Will there be help for international students who are in Germany to prolong their visa? Good question. Don't know about that. Definitely write that down and get that on our agenda. I think that's an important issue. Wasn't on our mind until now. We will check with the international office on that. Is there any official Oh, that question is gone. Oh yeah, is there any official announcement about school CIT that provides further information? Don't think there is any official announcement yet. As Andy said previously, just get in touch with us. If you want to stay tuned on that exact matter, you can come to our next meeting. We will probably discuss it if there's enough people who want to discuss it. And we can definitely keep you updated on that.
On that note, I just realized I forgot one of the surveys earlier we had prepared. And that is, you know, we sent out a survey to you per email last week, and we got a lot of responses, and we wanted to know, we did it for the first time, and we wanted to know, should we do this more often? Should we do it like once a month, once a semester, or whenever an important issue arises? Because I think it's a really good measure to keep you updated and to also keep us informed about what the current pressing issues are. But on the other hand, we don't want to spam you and send you an email every day. So maybe we can activate this poll real quick. Ah, okay. Apparently, we had this survey, but I didn't mention it earlier. Okay, so most of you appear to want a survey once important issue arises, or once a month. So I guess we're gonna keep doing those surveys from time to time. Yeah, and also if you have anything else, feel free to write us an email, contact us in any other way. We're always there if you have anything outside of this survey.
So I want to add something on that.
Go for it.
I think it's important to mention, and it's been asked before, about the information and emails regarding the situation. So we have this Moodle course, and we have this Moodle announcement forum where we can basically post in and you will get an email. We don't want to spam you. Every time we post something, there will be an email to 6,000 students. But if there's important information that we think you should have, we will distribute it on that way. So you can check back in that Moodle forum every now and then. You can check your emails. You should be on the best information level possible, and I think that's something we are pushing, and we want this, especially in this semester. And yeah, just check your mails.
So are we allowed to study up to 10 semesters instead of 9? Well, that's neither yes nor no. The extension, basically, if you study right now, the extension will move your current semester, will hold your current semester counter and move your hurdle. But if you start to study after this, it won't apply to you. So, but basically, yes, you get an extra free semester. That's the purpose of this, because we can't guarantee that everyone can participate in the lectures as usual. So you don't have any obligation to fulfill those hurdles that you normally would have to this semester due to the special situation we have. If you send an email to students containing the basic links for info, Telegram, Twitter, Facebook, etc., and briefly explain what you did there, that would be great. I think we already included the links to our Telegram channels, Facebook posts, and so on in the invitation to this event. But we also posted it in the Moodle course. But once we have another survey, I guess it won't be a problem to include those again. And also, you find all the information on our website fsmpi.de. So yeah. Just look over there. I do not have a camera. I cannot apply to online exams. Well, it's as of right now, it's not really clear how those proctored exams are going to turn out, and if the hardware will have to be provided by the university. But the one thing that's probably going to happen is that those proctored exams aren't going to be you don't have to participate in those probably anyway, but may need to take some extra time in case you don't write those exams. But I guess
yeah, it's we can only do so much, I think. But yeah, maybe we can get TUM to provide cameras in that cases, but for that we first need to create the formal, former regulations for proctored exams in the first place. Can we get a water fountain like the MW? This is actually an interesting question. There is actually a decision by the faculty council from several years ago that something like that would be, if I'm not mistaken, even paid for by the faculty. But there are issues with the with Wilhelm, the bistro in our MV in the building, and also the Zeta4, because they say it's a change of the building, and we can't just put a water fountain there, and you you have fire protection issues, and then there's the contract with Wilhelm that who wants to sell his stuff and doesn't want extra, extra offers for drinks and stuff. So it's actually more difficult than it sounds. So that's the reason why we don't have it. But once the student council rooms are open again, feel free to just come to our kitchen and use our kitchen sink. That's also good water. So and on that occasion, maybe we can just talk about some issues, some important issues. There's a YouTube link. I guess I'm not gonna click on that right now. Feel free to do so. Could the exams be made easier due to the corona pandemic? So obviously we can't tell professors or lecturers to just make their exams easier no matter what. It's still their decision how they create the exams. What we can do is, or what has been discussed is whether it should be, whether we should just not grade exams at all and only have a pass-fail system. But it's as of right now, it is rather improbable that this is going to happen at the informatics department. Mathematics is probably going to do something similar to this, but yeah, we can only create the general guidelines how exams can take place and not what will be in them in terms of content.
I would like to say something here.
Yeah.
So obviously this semester is a different situation. It's very different from every semester before, and the professors know. These people are smart. I mean, they're professors at TUM Informatics, so they're probably smart enough to figure out that learning is different in this semester than it is in other semesters, and the difficulty level of exams should adapt. I don't know whether they expect you to learn much better this semester. I don't think so. So they will probably go and lower the difficulty of the exams this semester. This should not result in much better grades compared to the other years, because that would be unfair, obviously, to the other students who had the regular semesters. So don't be too afraid of the exams, but also don't stop studying, because I just said that. Just keep studying and you will probably do great in this semester.
Yeah, and it's also it's always possible to adapt the way that marks are given afterwards. So I guess most professors are probably going to do that if they see that everyone has simply failed the exam, whereas in the last years it was completely different. So to just create some kind of comparability, since we have a completely different situation. Is it 100% sure that the retake exams of the winter semester will take place after the summer semester? Well, as we already said, we do not have an exact schedule yet. It's simply too early to give you any concrete dates, but it's highly probable that they're not going to happen before the end of this semester. And also that there will not, it's also highly probable that there will be no, presence teaching, but it will be a completely digital semester. Also, keep in mind that this means that there can be exams over the complete time where there are no lectures, usually you have this time frame of a few weeks where the exams have to take place, and then there's a time frame where there cannot be any exams. That has been abolished for the next break in order to be able to actually provide all of the exams that need to be retaken, Will it be a school for us too, or only for the new ones enrolling in the first semester? The school is a very basic thing that will apply to everything because it changes the fundamental thing how the university is organized. So what will not necessarily change is your exam regulations or your or the events that you need to take. So that might be a thing that comes systematically over the years. But you will be part of the school, and you will no longer study at the Faculty for Informatics, but at the School for Computation, Information and Technology. And if you write a bachelor thesis, that professor will no longer have a chair at the Faculty for Informatics, but either at the Computer Science Department or the Computer Engineering Department. When can we expect official news regarding the exams? That's really hard to say, but I would at least give it a few more weeks, since currently we're still discussing the way that proctored exams may be organized, and that's not even been finalized yet. So the scheduling will probably take place a few weeks after that, I guess.
But on that, I would like to add, so what's probably good as a basic information is that the exams will probably not take place next week or in the next 2 weeks. So there won't be any exams probably until June or July. So I think the faculty hasn't really communicated this, but we will try to get a communication on that regard when the first possible date is for exams.
Für diskrete Wahrscheinlichkeitstheorie gibt es keine Kontaktmöglichkeit und die Professorin beschwert sich, dass zu viele Studenten ihr Mails schreiben. So basically for a discrete probability theory, there's no way to contact the professor, and too many people write their mails. As far as I know, there is it is possible to contact tutors, and if you have any questions about actual content, because there are these big blue button sessions. But as long as the tutors are not provided with the hardware that is from the university that is necessary for them to provide those tutor sessions, I think they will do a central exercise, but these tutor sessions will still be open for questions. And yes, Professor Albers tries to use the system she is used to just for simplicity reasons, but of course we will gladly talk to her again and give her this feedback. Maybe we can add some additional channels or change something about that. How will the school system... Oh, no, it's gone. Why is the transition to schools better? Well, personally, I don't really regard it as better. It's just a thing that will happen, and we need to make the best out of it. I have accepted like half a year ago that this is going to happen and we can't stop it. And I think that there can come good from it, as long as we make sure that it's organized in a useful way, and we are actively working on making sure that this is going to happen. So we will keep you updated on that. And as we said, if you want to participate, just write us, come to us, talk to us, and there's a lot of work to do. How will the school system, for example, bachelor honors, projects, etc., affect us if we started our studies in the winter semester of 1920? So with the formal start of the school for the CIT school, you basically the main thing that's going to change is at the first moment that you will no longer study formally no longer study for the Faculty for Informatics, and there are some a few different possibilities when it comes to writing bachelor thesis or master thesis who can actually be your who can support you in doing that, and which chairs you can actually use. But about the project weeks and all of that stuff, that's obviously gonna be a centralized thing, so that there will probably be a centralized date, and that will not necessarily be the same date that the CIT school starts, since some schools start earlier and some schools start later. So there is a possibility that this might only affect the generation after you. But as we already said, the thing about the project weeks is that it's highly probably that they will come in one way or the other, but it's not yet clear how they will be organized in the end, because that's still being worked on. And at the moment, there have been a lot of delays due to Corona, because everyone has other priorities right now. If the course has a 60 to 70% fail rate, why is the course not inspected by the faculty? It obviously means that the problem is in teaching, not in students. Well, that is basically what the evaluation is for. So for each course you get a survey shortly before the semester ends, where you can evaluate the teaching, and if there are outliers, they are in fact inspected. And also, if we get a lot, you can always just write us and report to us that there are issues. For example, we got a lot of reports that machine learning, the machine learning stuff by Professor Günnemann was really difficult and really hard exam, but it was a compulsory exam for some students. So we had a talk with him, and he now adapted it in a really great way, and we basically resolved that issue. So it's just if you think that a course is too hard or too easy or whatever, just write us a mail if nothing is happening. But we're doing our best to identify those courses that have issues and talk to the lecturers. When will the Mensa Studitum reopen? For the Mensa, the answer is today. For the Studitum, we don't know yet. That's gonna be probably one of the last things to open, since it's not critical infrastructure, I guess. Yeah.
All right.
Continue.
Quick remark on the Mensa. It's only for to go. Don't go there and eat. It's only the minimum possible thing to.
Also, please don't drive to the campus just to go to the Mensa. That's not the idea behind it. It's the idea is to provide those who have to be at the campus with some food, and not to get all the students to drive to the campus to get something to eat in the Mensa. That would defeat the purpose. You want to go on?
I think we should have a look at the time, because it's 12 in 9 minutes already. So we should do some last questions and then sum it up and wrap it up. I can go on a bit. You can think about the wrap up in the meantime. So
I don't have a problem of just doing a wrap up and then just continue answering questions for a bit, and people can leave if they want to leave. It's a live stream,
Yes. So yeah, you're obviously free to leave. We can just go on a bit. Just a quick sum up on my part. I think it's really great that so many people joined. Like, we had over 300, 350 at sometimes peak viewers on YouTube. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I think it's our first time too doing this thing online, and it worked out quite well in the end, I believe. Obviously, there's some room for improvement. Maybe you want to continue, Andy.
I guess we're just going to go on with a few questions.
So if you still have questions after this this general assembly, please write us on social media. Again, we're pretty active there. We check that regularly. You can also always drop us a mail if you have any issues or something like that. We really the thing is we cannot do anything about issues that we don't know of. So please, if there's anything going wrong, tell us. Also, the survey that we sent around a couple like last week, it's still open, so you can still come back to that and drop us a question there or something like that. We're very open to your suggestions and to your questions, so please do that.
Right, are we just gonna keep answering questions here?
Apparently, yeah.
Okay.
What will happen with the GOPs? I have an echo. Someone has to. What will happen with the GOPs for those who had to do retakes? I'm pretty certain that you need to request an extension from the examination board, and that it's not covered by the automatic extension. But as I said, those are basically automatically granted when the reason is obviously that you couldn't write the exam for Corona, so that's no issue at all, and you won't be exmatriculated just because you missed an exam since it didn't take place.
Okay, the thing about the GOPs is the extension for the credit hurdles only applies to the summer semester, so it does not apply to the winter semester. So all your GOPs, can you also not hear me? Or is that just Andy? Okay, so the GOPs in informatics, at least, they only happen in the winter semester. So you have to pass at least 2 courses in the winter semester. If you were not able to if you were not able to pass 2 courses and your retake exams were cancelled because of Corona, you will definitely have a second try. If you don't get the second try at the end of the summer semester, you can definitely apply to the Prüfungsausschuss, to the examination board, and it will be you will get another chance. But you will not be kicked out of university because your retake exam was cancelled. That will definitely not happen. You will definitely have a second try at least.
Will the school wording appear on the transcript, certificate, degree? I suppose so, because the faculty for informatics ceases to exist once the school is, established. How will tutorials be replaced? So far, tutors only read out the sample solutions. Well, that's pretty much up to the lecturer and the tutors. We provide the infrastructure, Big Blue Button, for example. There are some awesome features. You can actually upload PDFs and write in them. You also have multi-user mode. So maybe just sometimes it already helps if you tell your tutor or tell your lecturer, hey, I think this can be improved if you did this or that, or use this platform. Some of them just say, okay, I'm going to do that. But if they refuse to do that, I guess it's up to them. You can, of course, always refer to us, and we are going to talk to them to improve their lecture. Where can we find information about the candidates to the student representatives? Well, we actually just started to create some lists a short time ago, and the deadline to set up the lists it has also been postponed. What?
So the date until then the lists must be handed in. That is the 2nd of June.
Right. So
between the 2nd, no, wait, between the 2nd of June and the 16th of June, you can hand in lists.
Right.
So after the 16th of June, you will have all the candidates.
Right, and until then, the list can still change, since until then everyone can say, oh, I want to make a list, I have enough supporters, and I have decent those topics, so I'm gonna apply.
Yeah. But the question, how you will find out information about the candidates, the list, they will probably provide information themselves, but it's also planned that there will be some kind of that there will be some kind of newspaper or something like that, or a magazine, or just in general a blog post of us introducing you to the candidates, or giving each of the list candidates a survey with a couple of questions that they can answer, and we will probably share that. So if you follow us on our social media, you will definitely know about the candidates.
And we'll also provide a platform on our website for all the lists, as soon as the deadline has passed. On that note, Philip and I actually will be candidates for the Faculty Council.
This is not the time. Don't. And will we have a recording of this FFO afterwards? Yes, you will.
Right. Probably both on YouTube and Panopto. They should be recorded on both platforms. What could be done about DDoS, etc. regarding exams? Well, that's a difficult issue. Yeah, we're still there's still work to be done on that front, and I as of now I don't actually know what the current platform is that is supposed to be used in the end, because we are still in the stage where we are creating the general regulations that proctored exams become possible or not possible in the first place. So that's not clear yet. But there are certain platforms, obviously, since in other countries proctored exams are a thing that already exists. So
okay.
Yeah.
May I just go on, because I think there's still like a few questions, and maybe we can answer some faster, so we get questions out.
So will there be any party or fun events this semester? Maybe an online one. So all the big parties have been postponed or just cancelled due to Corona. But that's a good question. Our events department is currently working on organizing something like that, because obviously we know about the situation and we know that this is a pretty hard time for a lot of people. And we want to also give you the opportunity to just meet other students and maybe have a little bit of fun. So currently they're working on So currently, for example, they're working on organizing a LAN party again. Initially, the LAN party was cancelled because, we have a LAN party every semester, but that was not possible in the usual, at least with the usual setup, that wasn't possible. But they're working on making an online LAN party, for example. That is currently in planning. We will keep you posted if that happens. Other than that, we are currently looking into, for example, an online board game evening or something like that. So we are trying to set something up there, but nothing is completely fixed yet, but we're working on it.
All right, fast questions, fast answers. The lecture period has been extended until August. Can we still have exams?
How will the project weeks be counted ECTS-wise?
You're talking at the same time.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so my bad. So let's do this a bit more fast, I think. The lecture period has been extended until August. Can we still have exams in July? Yes, but we don't know yet. Just that's the answer. How will the project weeks be counted ECTS-wise? Will the study plans be changed? Probably yes, that's the answer. To all students, we will win this semester together. Love you all and take care. And thanks for the FFO Informatics passionate bunch of smart people. Not so sure about the smart, but thank you.
We appreciate it anyway. Thank you.
Other remarks. Thank you so much. So the question at top is important regarding the study progress monitoring, as it has already been moved by one semester. Then what is meant by the request of 14th of May? Please elaborate that part. So that is only important if it's not your first semester, but you're probably like in your third, fourth, fifth semester, and you will fail a credit hurdle with last semester. So this semester has been moved, last semester has not been moved. And if you fail your credit hurdles because of missed exams, because Corona exams, Corona killed exams, that's what I meant to say, then you need to do that request. So my visa will expire soon. I'm still in home country. Embassy said I must reapply for a visa if it expires. I can't come to Germany on short notice. What to do? I think you need to get in touch with the international office of TUM. Maybe they can help you. They usually know about the visa stuff.
But that being said, you can be pretty sure that you won't be exmatriculated because you can't attend a lecture or an exams since your visa expired. Because everyone knows that Corona happened and those issues exist. So I guess you need to deal with your embassy on that front.
Can a thesis be extended because of Corona? Talk to your supervisor and talk to your advisor about this. Usually that can happen, but it won't happen in every situation. Just talk to your supervisor about it. Link to faculty's Telegram, Metrics, Discord, please. I think we have links for our Telegram. There's no faculty Discord. There's no
depends. Do you mean
Metrics.
the actual faculty, or do you mean as the student council? Because the faculty doesn't really have stuff like that. But if you or partly, I think they have a matrix.
There is a faculty metric actually.
Yeah, there is a faculty metrics. But if you're talking about the student council, go to our webpage www.fsmpe.de, and there will be a bunch of different links to our social media, to our Telegram, and all of that. You will probably find it there.
Also, they're linked in the Moodle course. I think we can also extend that list once we have other platforms.
Yes, we can. No other platform, please.
So if the exams will take place in person and there's no way to get to Germany for you because flights are closed or something, that's not your fault. You will probably have to take the retake exams or something, but that's a special case, really special edge case. We know from the survey that 1/3 of you are not in Germany right now, and that's only the people who participated in the survey. Obviously, it's not everyone. So we will hand that feedback to the faculty, and we hope that we get like a nice solution for that.
That is also one of the reasons why we're looking into digital exams, because that would be a solution, but we have to see if that works out.
So will there be an extension of term for the GOPs of the first semester? So I think the GOPs, you can take them in the first and the second semester. Usually there is no GOPs in the second semester, but this time it is. So you basically get time in this exam period, this upcoming exam period, to do the GOPs. Don't think there will be further extension. Does the ECTS extension also apply to GOPs? I think that's written on the website. I don't want to make a statement on that. Just go to intum.de and then look for coronavirus.
We already had that. I'm fairly certain.
I mean, in the case of informatics, yeah, we already had that. In the case of informatics, it doesn't, because our GOPs are in the winter semester. Again, you will have a second chance.
That's the issue, that they count to the winter semester. So you will get an extension, but you need to request it from the examination board. When will the iPads be shipped to the tutors? I'm afraid I can't answer that, since there have been a few delays, but it shouldn't take too long. I don't think the faculty has received them as of now. Again, the GOP question, we basically answered that just now. Is there any way to get the new students from the first semester? Well, of course it's difficult, since no one can meet up in person. As of now, we don't have any organized events. There might be some in the future, but I would recommend to just join the various semester groups, the semester Discord servers, and maybe open up a big blue button room and post it there and talk to people over that channel. So I think think we could create a collection of the semester groups in case that's the issue. It seems exchange semesters will take place in the winter term. What about the late TUM exams that take place when we already should be in the exchange country?
I can answer that. So that's just usual case handling. This has been done before. Usually you can apply for an oral exam in that case, where you would miss the exam, and then that would need to happen in some way or another, where you have an oral exam with a professor. There can be, in special cases, also like remote exams where you are in, I don't know, Brazil, Japan, somewhere in the world, and you can still do the exam if there's like a remote supervision. That has been done before in very special cases. It's no overall solution. Yes.
There's also the possibility to have an oral exam that also happens.
Didn't I just say that? My bad. I thought I did. I don't think that more coursework is beneficial for all students. That's not really a question, more like a statement. Yes, we also discussed that because obviously more coursework is more pressure during the semester, but it is also more motivation to do something while the semester is going on and not do everything prior to the exams. But also people are working, having jobs. It's not an easy thing to do. We're weighing the pros and cons, but we think that higher bonuses are usually good because it's something you can do voluntarily as a student. You don't have to. It's not compulsory. You want me to go on? I can go on.
Do so.
All right. What are the resources students should know about to get most out of this online system? Not an easy question because it's not specific, I feel like. Just as always, check Moodle, check the websites, check with your past semesters on the content of the lecture. You can maybe try to get old exams if the profs give them out. Check with higher semesters on the course, people who already passed this course. Oh, we can see Andy on stream now. Nice.
You can also activate your camera if you want.
Why would I want that?
No, I don't think I will do anything to crash the stream again. No, I'm fine. So how about a second general survey phase after exams? Give profs feedback on the exams. I think I saw that question earlier, and I believe it's really good. I will just take this and suggest it straight to the faculty. I think there needs to be something like this, evaluating how the exams went. University offers better learning environments. Some students need this, but the university won't open this semester. Is there a solution? Yes, this is a big issue, I think. There's no digital learning space. Like libraries, the TUM houses, you can't replicate that. Some people don't learn as much at home, study as good at home as they do in university. And you can't do the group study groups. It's different, and the university knows about this. Just try to adapt as good as possible. Get your friends, your study mates onto, I don't know, Hangouts, Discord, Skype calls, and do the work together. That's what I'm doing. That's what other people are doing, and I think that kind of works well. Just stay motivated and keep studying. Wird es Repetitorien geben? So the Repetitorien, tutorial repetitions for retake exams, something like that in English. They fell flat to Corona. Yes, that's true. There will be repetitions of those repetitions. We don't know when that happens. At least faculty is trying to make that happen.
Would be great to get the result of the lecture evaluations that are done every semester. So actually, it has been decided a few months ago that the faculty will publish those in a numerical way, but as soon as it comes to the free text answer, there's always this data protection issue, and the lecturer can always refuse the publication of those. But in fact, good lecturers actually talk about those in the lecture. And Professor Bungertz, for example, always presented his results and took 15 minutes or something to present the feedback even during the lecture. But yeah, as far as this is possible within data protection regulations, they should be published. I'm part of a student group and we rely on having our workshop with the tools to manufacture our prototypes. Do you know when we will be able to use them? I'm afraid the answer is no, I don't know. It's really unforeseeable how things develop right now with the Corona crisis, you know.
You're still really, really silent on stream, Andy.
Okay.
We can hear you fine in the big blue button communication that we are having, but you're still really silent.
I'm gonna do something to change that.
Okay. Okay. Where do we have to register again for the retake exams? Well, on TUM Online, just as usual. You will receive a notification, an email. Just keep updated. Any updates on helping new students in finding student jobs? Not really. Anyone else? Probably not. Sorry. Can you mark the questions as answered?
Better now?
I don't think it's better.
I assume it's not better.
Yeah. You can just listen into the YouTube stream so you know yourself. Keep going until the questions are answered. So why aren't we allowed to download the Panopto videos? Legal things, copyright. Ask your lecturers about it.
There is actually a setting that allows the lecturers to allow you to download them, but that's the decision of the lecturer.
Yes. Can we regulate the Brezel price in the ME? Yeah, I think we should do that, but I don't think we can. On a personal note, I think it's way too expensive right now. Wird es bei der Mensa auch einen Speiseplan geben? Look it up. I think there is a plan. Do bridge courses still have to be completed until the end of the second semester? So for masters, bridge courses, I think they will still have to be completed. Check with the Studienberatung on that. Just ask them. Why are students asking repeated questions? Good meta question. I have the retake. I have to retake a class which is a prerequisite for a class I'm currently taking. What if I fail the retake but I pass my current class? So there's even if lecturers communicate prerequisites, there's no formal prerequisites in informatics. So if, for example, ICE tells you that you need to pass PGDP before participating in ICE, that's not like really true. You should have the knowledge from PGDP in ICE, if that's your example, but you don't need to have formally passed the course to do another one. If exams aren't graded, we lose the chance to improve our bachelor grade. We don't know whether that happens, but in case exams are not graded, yes, that would happen. Exams would just go right into your grade, and your grade, overall bachelor grade, wouldn't change. Obviously, like a bachelor thesis would still be graded.
You are currently the only
if we
person in this
finish
conference.
school instead of TUM, is there still a bachelor degree in the end? Yes. So the degree won't change at all. Maybe the institution name will change a little bit, and it will say TUM School of Computation, Information and Technology instead of TUM Department for Informatics. So not a big thing. Grading by coursework sounds unfair since some students have people who can help them at home, etc. Yes. That's just always how it's been. Obviously, people will try to, yeah. So the lecturers will try to hinder others on the cheating and plagiarism thing, but we still believe that that's the best way. Obviously, don't cheat. Is it possible to access online RGB systems remotely? I think so. Look that up on their webpage. Can we still submit suggestions for e-box? And if yes, where? In the survey, look up the survey link on Moodle and scroll down all the way to the last question, answer that, and that's the ebook suggestions. We will forward everything to the library people. I think the better system to prevent 60-70% failure rates is always to normalize exam results. An example, the best student always gets a 1.0 and the rubric is scaled. Some other universities do that, especially outside of Germany, they seem to do it. Asian universities seem to do it. That would be a system change. Would be discussed, obviously. You can come to us and we can discuss it more in detail. 7 more questions. Will we have a semester party after Corona to celebrate? Maybe. We don't know yet. We wouldn't do a party where it's any risk for students to still infect other people or get infected. How to download lectures?
We're planning to have a Unity next year. So.
Yes, we are trying to have a Unity next year. True. How to download lectures from RGB, Panopto, Big Blue Button, etc. I think there's like Chrome extension, like browser extensions for that. Maybe look it up. Or code it yourself because you're informatics students and share it with your students. Nice. Not a question, but thank you for doing this. You are all awesome. You are awesome too. Thank you. When would the lost retake exam take place? In the retake phase of the semester or the first one in August? We don't know that yet. We will try to get back with information as soon as possible on that regard. I actually wrote an email to the faculty person on that matter just right now. Why should the students who decide to defer go through the entire process of reapplication, given that they already gone through enough? Yeah. I don't know. Good question. Why do we only this Corona? Wait, the wording on that question confuses me. Oh, so yeah, schools and restaurants are going to open soon. Universities are going to be restricted further because of the things we are currently doing, online teaching. And the federal government sees online teaching as a good replacement, so they don't need to be putting people at risk. And if everything in online teaching is working, then you can keep it.
Also, you need to keep in mind that about 30% of students
need to discuss opening some things. Libraries are opening soon, TM.
Also, you need to keep in mind that about 30% of students are not in Germany. So if you just started doing presence lectures and not continue the digital stuff, then they just couldn't participate.
Oh, he left the big.
Ah.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep going while Andy logs back into Big Blue Button. Last question. What question did you people expect to answer but not asked? Let me think about that back in my head while we go through the last things here. Thanks a lot. Have a good day. You too.
You too.
Telling your tutor what they could improve helps a lot. Also, it's very much up to the students to participate and ask questions. Yes. Really good remark. How do I get my informatics canon, which you normally get from the info point in exchange for a signature? You can mail the RBG people. They have like a help desk at rbg.intum.de or something. Mail them. You can do a video verification where you show your face and hold your ID into the camera, and then they will give you everything via email or something, or via video call. That works. So, question that people did not ask. Any ideas, you?
No, I feel like we received a lot of questions.
Yeah,
A lot
true.
of good questions as well.
But it's a good question to ask this.
Yeah.
There probably are some questions, but
we
there
have
are so many
couple more
questions I can't really
We're
think
not
of
going to
it
go
now.
through them right now. We will probably kind of write a little summary about the questions that we had, the most important questions, and post them on our website in a blog post maybe. Don't know when that will come though. But yeah, if there are any more questions, please let us know. Please contact us and we're going to ask them. And yeah, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you
a lot for
all.
joining.
I think this is the end.
This is the end.
We can leave up the word cloud for a little bit.
How do I get an NPI shirt? You need to be part of it. Come to us. Come to us. We will give you shirts.
Well, once a year or maybe once every 2 years, we order some, and then you can pay for it if you want them and get one.
You are currently the only person in this conference.
Cool. Then I guess I'm gonna end the audio, leave the word cloud up a little bit, and thanks for joining in, everyone.
Goodbye. Make it stop, Andy.